How to protect our routers and switches from an unauthorized people getting into our device. You see, if someone wants to log into your laptop, they need the username and password. If not possible, without your username and password, they can't enter. Just for one laptop, you give that much care. Think about a router via which all the employees' traffic pass through. All of us data pass through the switches and routers. They need to be more carefully protected, more than our laptops and computers. Now, for that, we need to understand what are all the ways in which you interact with the router. On a router or a switch, we interact in two ways. One, we use the console port. The console port is available both on switch and router. Via the console port, you can look into the router, you can see what has been configured, you can also change the configuration, you can also do some new configuration without any IP address, because it's a console port. Console port doesn't need an IP address. The console port is a serial port for which there is no IP address. The port physically looks like Ethernet port, but it's not an Ethernet protocol working behind. So there is no MAC address, there is no IP address needed for that port. It's like a communication port, it's like a COM port of your laptop. See, you connect a pen drive, a thumb drive, a flash drive to your laptop. Is there any MAC address or IP address needed for that? No. It just got recognized and you can able to see what is inside the flash drive. You can read, you can write, likewise. The console port is also a COM port, communication port, like the USB port that you have in your laptop. That's one way of interacting with the router. Attacker also can use that port. So what are we going to do? We are going to password protect it so that only an authorized person can use the console port to manage, to monitor, to configure. Protecting with the username and password, and protecting without username, only with the password. There are two options. Protecting only with the password is one option. Protecting with username along with the password is another option. Depending on your environment, you can choose one. If I have only one person responsible for my network security, then there is no need for username. Only password is enough. But if there is more than one person, then it is good to put username and a password. Again, another username and a password for each users, so that accounting can be possible. What is accounting? so that you will know who did what. When you don't have username, you will not know who did what. When you provide username and password, he logs in with the username and password, and there is a log generated as he logs in. So later days, if something goes wrong, we will be able to figure out who did that. By the username that he used to log in, we will know that it's that particular person did this. So use usernames and password if you have more than one administrator. Let us see now how to do this. Have you seen console port, console cable? Do you know how to interact using a console port?
Yeah, yes.
Great. So we use putty and we interact.
Like the old one, USB ones.
Yeah.
The old ones.
Okay. Now, let's go to a packet tracer and see how to protect the console port. Now, let me take a router. Click on this to get the console. It's very easy here, just click. But in the real device, we connect through the console cable, and on the laptop or a desktop, we use putty and we get the CLI like this. Okay, it's booting. Right. Now I'm going to say no, and I'm allowed to see the user mode. This is user mode. The reason is if authentication is enabled, when I give the right username and password, I'll be able to see this mode. If not, no. Right now we don't have any authentication, it's a fresh router, so I'm able to see the user mode. Now I type enable to get into the privilege mode. And then to configure, I have to go to configuration mode, so I type config T or config terminal. And I would like to put some configuration before I enable authentication. I want to say host name, router 1. I want to put the banner when someone logs in, before they log in, show this message, this lab property. Authorized entry only. All right, and also now I would like to enable the authentication. For console only. So I say line console 0. You see, if you want only the password, you say password. And I would like to give password as ABC. Without fail, you have to say this keyword login. If not, it won't be effective. It won't verify someone logs in. It won't verify unless you put login. During the login time, this password need to be Now I would like to save it, so I press Ctrl Z. I go from the line console mode directly to the privilege mode, and I save it. Either you type write or copy, run, start. Both are same. Or you can also say write to memory. All are same. The only difference is when you say copy, run, start, it will take a confirmation before saving from DRAM to NVRAM. Now I have saved. I'm going to log out from here, and next time when I return back to login, it shows a login message. This is a lab property. Authorized entry only. This is the banner that we set. And now password, I'm typing 123, not allowed. 987, not allowed. Am I typing really? Yes, I'm typing. It won't show you dot or asterisk there. MNB, no. So again, it will give me another 3 chances. It keeps giving three chances. It will not get tired. It will give you three chances every time you try. So I'm going to say now ABC, which one is, this is the actual password. Boom, I'm able to see the user mode now. I'm able to see the user mode. And now I'm going to say enable config T. I go under line console again so that I can, what is this 0? See, in Cisco, every port is numbered. The very first port is numbered as 0. How many console port you have? Only one port. That one port is numbered as 0. I say line console 0. This time I need username and password, so I'm going to say login local database. I'm not going to put the username and password here. I'll be creating a database. When I say login local, what do I mean by that is when someone logs in, refer to the local database. I already have login. Now I'm saying login local. Which one will take precedence? Login local will be given more importance than login, because there will be username along with the password, which is more weightage. Now I go out of here. I don't need to cancel the previous passwords. It won't be effective now because I have said login local. And I'm going to create the local database saying username. I'm going to say trainee 1. Password pass 1. Username trainee 2. Password pass 2. You can create any number of users. Now what is next? I'm going to save this, get out of here, and try logging in again. This time it is not just asking password, it asks username first. I'm going to say TRAINEE1, and the password I'm trying to type is pass2. That's the wrong combination. For trainee 1, it's pass1, not pass2. For trainee 2 only we give pass2. So combination matters. TRAINEE 2, PASS2. Now I am allowed in. If you type show users, you can see who has logged in now. Trainee 2 has logged in. via console 0 port. Any question? Console is a physical port, and there is only one port, and always the first port is 0, so it is console 0 only. Now what is next is the other way of interacting routers. One way we have seen using console port, there is no need for an IP address. Mostly when people buy the device for the first time, they always use console. After that, they switch to telnet or SSH. SSH is recommended than telnet. Okay, now for telnet, what is needed? An Ethernet port, not a console port. So I'm going to take a testing PC. I can take more than one and connect through a switch. And then we need an IP address to reach one another. I'm going to give here 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2. On the router side, on G0.0.0, I would like to give 10.0.0.3. Right, let us try configuring these things. First, I will finish the PCs. 10.0.0.1. (10.0.0.2). I go with the default mask 255.255.250.0.0. Now going to the physical interface of the router to assign an IP address. Interface G0.0.0. First you need to bring it up. For security reason, the layer 3 interfaces on the routers or in a shutdown mode. So we type no shutdown to do the reverse, opposite of shutting down. We say no shutdown to bring it up. As soon as I bring up, the first line comes. The link 5 changed state to up. And if this cable connected to another device, and if that device is already up, then the second line comes, the line protocol on that interface change state to up. If the other end of the wire is down, if the device is shut down, the second line would have not come. Now let us put the IP address here. As per the plan, it is 10.0.0.3 and the mask is 255.0.0.0. Done. What is next? Ping and verify. I'll go here. The IP address of this PC is 10.0.0.1. I'm trying to ping the router. 10.0.0.3. I'm able to ping. Likewise, I'll go to this PC, which is 10.0.0.2, and ping 10.0.0.3. I'm able to ping. Will I be able to telnet? not allowed. The router, which is a foreign host, says that port is closed. That port, that socket, telnet socket is not open. Socket is the word that the software guys, the developers use. We use port number, IP address. They say IP and port together as socket. For this 10003, port number 23 forms a socket, and that socket is now closed there because we have not enabled telnet on the router. We have not enabled telnet on the router. That's why it says closed by the foreign host. Let us go enable telnet, but before that I also want to try from here. I have two administrators. Both are trying. For both it is saying closed by the foreign host. So in an organization you won't have too many administrators. Okay. Now let us go and set the limit how many administrators we have. You see, the IP address that you're going to telnet is only one. The physical port is only one. But if these two administrators need to parallelly telnet, which means there is two virtual circuits, two virtual ports. Two virtual ports of telnet need to be created. Yeah, for each administrator, there is a separate session. There is need for a separate socket. But the physical port is only one G000. So we cannot enable telnet on the physical interface because there can be more than one telnet. That's why we go under something called line VTY. VTY is nothing but virtual terminal. The physical one is only one. On top of that physical one we can have many virtual. But how many? You can have totally 16. 0 to 0 is the first user. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 15. So totally 16 member can log into one router. Buying one veg biryani, 16 people putting their hand. I don't know how many will be tummy full. That is the same story here also. One router managed by 16 people, it will be a big chaos, I tell you. That's very bad. So we have to limit the number of telnet administrator by putting the number here. Recommended is to have less than 5. So they will say 0 to 4. That means 5 users, 5 parallel telnet sessions. But if you say no, why I need to say 5 when my administrators are only 2? Okay, then say 0, 1. So only 2 connections allowed. Third, even if he knows the username and password, or even if he knows the all credentials and IP address, cannot be successful if 2 has already telneted. Only 2 at a time is what I'm setting as a limit. Now I'm going to say use the, see here also if you have only one administrator, then you can say password here itself directly. But we have two administrators, so I'm going to say login local. Transport input is not SSH, it's telnet. Even if you don't say this, the default underline VTY is telnet. But for if you are enabling SSH, which we will be learning later days, we have to mention SSH. But for telnet, even if you don't mention, it is telnet. Now this local database, you remember we already created trainee1, trainee2, which we also gave to console. The same database that is going to be referred when someone telnets. All right, now when I go and telnet now, it is asking the username. It says the banner, this is the lab property, authorized entry only, and give me the username. I say trainee. Two, pass 2. I'm in. But because this is a telnet, to go to next level, not allowed unless next level authentication is enabled by the console. In the console, the next level we did not authorize. So it says password not set, which means what? We did not authorize because it is telnet. No, we want to have double layer of security. So let us now go to console and say enable. See right now for console it is not needed. For console trainee2 pass2, here it is not asking second level of verification because it's a console. Telnet is coming from remote somewhere. That only needs the second level of verification. But if you set here enable password, that is the second level of verification. For the privilege mode, we type enable command, right? For that, we set password. Password, I say 1, 2, 3. Now, this is applicable for both console and telnet. You see, trainee1, pass1. Here, now, this also asks password because it is common for both. 1, 2, 3. Let us try the same from the telnet mode. Enable. Last time it was saying no password set, but this time it says give me the password. I'm saying 1, 2, 3. I'm in. Right from here also I can type show user to know who are all logged in. It shows that I myself has logged in from this IP address using VTY 0. And it is also logged in by a console user called trainee1. You can also see this from the console. Show users. It shows. The star one says where you are. You are right now in console. There if you go and see, you will be in the VTY. Star is in VTY. Now let us telnet from here. trainee2 user 2. trainee2 pass 2. Okay. Enable 1, 2, 3. Now let us see from the console. It shows that this fellow has logged in from two different computers, first session and second session. This is the first computer. How I know? For 1 minute and 15 seconds, and this is the second computer. He has logged in. Now let me log off and use different user. TRAINEE1 pass 1. Show users here. I can see that 10001, it's me local on this computer. It's trainee 1 who has also logged in on console. Any question? No questions or any questions?